Welcome to the Onyeka Nwelue show. In the studio we have Alan John Mandodo. And we had Tawanda last time. We still had Tawanda Chikowore. Musician, actor, model. Welcome. I think it's very exciting that I have two Zimbabweans here. And I'm Nigerian. Yes. And I've written a book called The Strangers of Braamfontein. Mm-hmm. And there's a story of Nigerians and Zimbabweans in Braamfontein. And I'm interested in knowing how you people feel when we are seen as strangers in South Africa.
Mm. Am I going first?
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's normal. It has become normal in today's age that, you know, if you're from somewhere else, you don't get the same privileges as the local people. This has come with the borders and everything. So I think it's normal. You know, you just have to either embrace it or get out.
Do you feel discriminated?
To some extent, because when there's problems, that's when Zimbabweans come out. If you're doing good, it's Oliver Mtukudzi is an African artist.
Yeah. Do you feel like a stranger in South Africa?
To be honest, for me, it's been a weird transformation, like moving from Zimbabwe to South Africa, because initially I thought we were one. You know, I grew up on Mafikizolo, and I was like, when I get to South Africa, you know, it's gonna be home again. You know, and you come over. My first time I came to visit, and it was really pleasant. It was amazing, you know. But the visiting experience and living here is very different, because you get constant reminders here and there that, oh no, this is not home, you know, and you need to remember that this is not home. So it's in little things, even opening a bank account, interaction. Sometimes you're forced to, you know, speak in a certain language that you're not able to. Well, of course, I've learned with time because I've had to. But it's interesting, to say the least. But to answer your question, no, I do not feel like I'm home. Yeah.
But you also don't feel like going back to Zimbabwe.
So Zimbabwe is exhausting, to say the least. I mean, I love my country, you know, and I'd love to say I'm a patriotic Zimbabwean, which a lot of people would, you know, probably not agree with me because I don't live there anymore. But it has so many things that hold you back, you know, when it comes to trying to push yourself further and grow and become the person you're trying to be, because there are so many stresses in life there, you know, economically, even education-wise. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day concerning how children right now in Zimbabwe are not as motivated as we were, because you see someone you look up to who's got a degree, who's, you know, done the most to study, but they are not amounting to anything, you know. So it's a challenging place to be, although it's still home.
But do you as a musician in South Africa, you don't get the same kind of, you say you don't get the same kind of privilege that South African musicians get?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And do you speak South African language?
Yeah, I think it's a thing of, like, what's the word? The English. Say I'm not smart. Relativity. Like
they
can't really relate with you to a
Yes.
certain extent. Then it can become like, I don't have the time to be learning a new language or to be understanding that accent, which is not from here, that type of thing. So they go with what they understand. It's like that in Zimbabwe. There's some very talented musicians who are not, well, if they were to be seen by the world, not as successful, but they're so successful in their own Zimbabwe because they sing in vernac language, you know, like in Shona or Ndebele or whatever. And they become so popular, but in either Bulawayo or just Harare. Whereas if you want like the international success and you want to have to bring in English here and there so that the international audience understands, you know, those people, the local people, might not want to hear it from.
You know that when you go to any country, you find Chinatown, right? And it's inhabited by Chinese people.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you've gone to South Africa also. There are particular places where they say Nigerians live.
Yes, like Parklands and Cape Town.
Yeah, is there a particular place where South Africans live?
Where?
Sorry, Zimbabweans live.
In South Africa?
Yeah.
In Cape Town, it's Parklands, where the Nigerians live.
And the
So
Zimbabweans
wherever
are
the
there.
Nigerians are,
Yeah,
the Zimbabweans are there.
Yeah, why are you guys always following Nigerians over?
Maybe it's the other way around.
How?
I don't know.
I think we have a lot in common. Like
tell me.
Zimbabweans and Nigerians have, I think culturally as well, like
Yes.
the way we interact with each other is very similar, you know. So for me, even food-wise, I can go to a Nigerian restaurant and, you know, I
Yeah.
feel like, yes, I'm going.
I remember we had this conversation last time about the names as well.
Yes, very similar.
Yeah, and the
very
language.
Bantu sounding.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Chikowere sounds very Igbo.
Ah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, I've heard that.
the word chi
Yes.
is God in Igbo language. What does it mean in Shona?
Chi does not mean anything.
Because I always see chi in the names. There is J.
Oh, it's like a,
CHI.
yeah.
So it's
I
like a
don't-
prefix.
prefix.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a prefix.
Yes, it's also the same
Yeah.
in Igbo.
Yeah.
Chinedu, Chinwe, Chinyere. Yeah. So I see that in Zimbabwean names a lot. And I wonder what is happening.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, the similarities are there here and there, but I think the one thing which really binds the two is they're very smart. You know, not everyone is smart because you still get like one out of the bunch who are not as smart. But the general, like if you were to just look at a Zimbabwean or a Nigerian, they're very like business minded. They're very like, let's go.
Yes.
What's happening? Okay. Oh, there's a gap there. Let me get through that. Whereas you don't see that with many other African countries.
And also, even in the literary circle, you have a lot of them. You have, used to have a man called, oh no, I've forgotten his name, but everybody will say, Onyeka, you behave like this guy. I'm sure I'll remember him later. Then there is Titi Dagrebo, right?
Yes.
How do you pronounce her name?
Tsitsi Dangarembwe.
Yeah.
Titi Dagrebo. Yeah, who is, she's not the only one. There is Ella Wakatawa, or her name is quite difficult, but there are strong literary figures from Zimbabwe. But all of them are British based, you know. And then nothing is happening on the Zimbabwean ground. I was in Harare. I was impressed with quietude, the solitude. Everywhere was abandoned somehow. Like people are in their rooms. The roads are clear, no traffic and stuff. I was really impressed, unlike Lagos. I think that's where you have the differences in all of us.
Yeah.
But then I'm interested in you as a model in South Africa.
Yeah.
What are the obstacles for you as a Zimbabwean model in South Africa?
So
Could you even tell me when you came here and when you started?
So when I came here, I initially wanted to sign with, I'm not sure if I can say names of actual agencies.
You can if you want.
So I wanted to sign with G3, but when I got here, things changed a bit. So I was scouted by Glamosphere, which is a decent modeling agency. So they allowed for me to grow and find my feet, and it wasn't as difficult getting the agency, which sometimes can be a challenge for people that are moving from Zimbabwe. So in that respect, I think I was privileged to a degree. But when it comes to the actual work as a model, it's challenging because there are a lot of commercials, there are a lot of gigs. Sometimes they come where you have to speak a local language, or they specifically are looking for a South African person, which is also understandable. And with that, I'm really fine with it because I'm like, it's not my country, so it's really fine. But at the same time, it can be a lot in instances where you've sacrificed to go somewhere for a casting call, and you realize when you get there that you're actually not able to cast, that kind of thing. So it's been up and down, but in my own journey, I think I've been at least blessed enough to be able to find work and continue just pushing. But in the same breath, it also makes you, because you're aware of the odds that are against you, I think you elevate your game. You're always on the lookout for something bigger. You're always, trying to push yourself to even create your own, your own brand in a certain way. Hence, I'm now even doing my own fashion line and all that because.
Oh, you are?
Yes. So it's also because I think one of the things I've learned is that if you don't see yourself in things that are out there that you may want to partake in or create them, so I would like to also have something that speaks to all sorts of people from all over, and do it through fashion, through through the arts that I do.
And apart from modeling as an actor as well, how is it going?
So as an actor, as we did the last movie,
Yes.
which was incredible because I also learned a lot from that. I'm working on a web series now
Okay.
with a friend of mine, Atalia, called Italian Allen. So
What is it about?
so that one documents our lives, our lives in Parkwood. So I stay in Parkwood in Johannesburg.
Mhm.
So so she's a Caucasian female, and I'm a black Zimbabwean guy, and she's Jewish. I'm Shona, spiritual, and for some reason we have like a mashup of how our lives have certain parallels, but they're also different, obviously, from the obvious external reasons. So it documents what we are about and our challenges that we face: love, life, family, and spiritual.
We'll go on break now. When we come back, we'll continue. Welcome back to the Onyeka Nwelue show. In the studio, we still have Alan and Quint. Your names are very long for me, and you give me a headache with all those names. And then I don't like calling you PS Quint because it reminds me of Quentin Tarantino.
Ah,
Yeah, have you seen his films?
I think so.
You think so?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So, we last time you were here, we talked about your new project, your musical project. What plans do you have for 2021 as an artist, not as a tour guide?
Okay. Within the music space or in the entertainment space, I'm just looking at releasing that, the project I told you, and then seeing where it takes me, really.
Right. So you don't have like people always say, "Oh, in the next 5 years I'll be here."
No,
and-
sir.
Yeah.
Next
You don't
5
have-
years, I want to be relaxed, doing the same things I'm doing now.
Wow.
Whatever makes me happy then.
Wow.
Mm.
So, in the wake of Nigerians must go hashtag on Twitter, Zimbabweans must go. Why are they asking all of us to go? Do you have any idea?
I think I have a slight idea. It's because they say we're causing problems.
Are you causing any problem?
Me personally, no.
Are you causing any problem?
Personally, I don't think so.
So why do you have any opinion on the reason why they're saying Nigerians and Zimbabweans must go?
It's something happens, right? It's like we can only see what is shared, and what is shared maybe on the TV, because we're not in all these places on the TV, in the news, whatever. It's there's crime here, and they quote a Nigerian person. There's crime there, and it was a Zimbabwean person. So the media is what the media pushes this, right? And that's what people see, and from that they make their judgments that you must go.
And are you going?
Anyway.
Going where? Are you going?
I don't think so. But what I think I have to say about that whole situation is I think there's a bigger story that needs to be told, or
Okay.
we need to like look at it from a broader perspective, because as foreign nationals, we come to South Africa, and as any foreigner does, you work extremely hard because you're not home. I know that I cannot fail. I cannot afford to fail, even if
True.
I wanted to. Like,
Totally.
I don't have a home. Like, my home to go back to is, thousands of kilometers away, and I'm not really trying to do that right now. So it means I'm going to do everything I can to find multiple streams of income. Try to do the most, because I'm supporting myself. I'm trying to support people at home. I'm also trying to build myself as a brand. So with that being said, there's also a lot of poverty in South Africa, and we cannot deny that as well. There's a lot of ill-educated people as well in South Africa, based on like the apartheid regime. So putting all that together now, and then I just sometimes put myself in the shoes of someone who's from here, and they have not been doing well, you know, and they see this foreign national who's coming and they're following their dream, they're doing the most, and they're doing well, you know. As much as it may be wrong for them to say, yeah, Nigerians must go or Zimbabweans must go because they're stealing our opportunities, I also understand it from that angle. So I think the problem, look, even if we go, suppose we all pack up and go, I don't think it would solve that particular problem, because if you're not privileged in a certain way, the system is the system. You know, you're not automatically gonna move into wherever you want to move into just because the foreigner was there is gone.
Yes.
You know, can you afford to stay there because the system is still there.
Yes.
You know, so I get it. I get where it comes from, but I think the conversation must be shifted to, you know, trying to help people to understand what should be done to, you know, probably help them to rise up and become better. You know, because there are so many variables that are there that have nothing to do with, you know, you being Nigerian or myself being Zimbabwean, you know. So yes, I can come from Zimbabwe, and yes, I could go, you know, I could find other options to do something else, because, you know, it's not pleasant to stay in a place where you're constantly, you know, being reminded that you're not from there. But I don't think it solves anything.
Yeah, and I think for me at this point in time, you know, it's been happening for so many years. I'm just tired.
You get tired.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just get tired, and what you do is what you came for, right? You just focus on what you're doing.
Yeah.
The noise is just the noise. It's on media. It's on your phone. If you put the phone down, you don't see it. It's, you know, you continue with what you're doing and just hope that, you know, your life goes where you want it to go.
Yeah.
I can't fight with everyone who said you must go somewhere, because then they're probably stupid anyway, because they don't understand why I'm here, how I'm here, what I'm doing, what I've put back into their country in terms of paying tax and whatever with my business or whatever the case. I can't argue with everyone, so you sort of like ignore it and continue.
Does it get to you?
Sorry?
Does it get to you?
At this point, not anymore, because I've developed this thing I'm expressing. Like, is it ignorance or what is it? I don't know. Where I'm just like, can't be bothered anymore. But before it used to, because then you'd try to, like what he said, exactly that's my opinion still, but I don't explain anymore. Do you know what I mean? Because how many times do you have to explain? How many times? Okay, the people who are saying, you Zimbabwean, oh, you must go, you're taking our jobs. You haven't been educated, you have not gone to school. He's a doctor. If he goes, are you gonna go and sit in the doctor's chair and help the people? What are you talking about?
But also what I found out is that the whole they are taking our jobs thing, for me, is ridiculous, because
It is.
I know Nigerians, they don't like working for people. They set up their own businesses.
Yeah.
So what jobs exactly are they talking about?
That's my point.
Because if you go to Braamfontein, the Nigerian restaurant is run by the Nigerian owns the place, and then he brings in a Zimbabwean on board, or maybe a South African. But the Nigerians also complain that when they employ the South Africans, after three days they run away.
They're not used to the amount of work you might have to do.
But in my opinion, I think that's exactly, and as you say, I feel like I always look up to Nigerian people because, as you say, you are very business-minded by nature. Like, and at every level, you don't necessarily.
What?
Don't overlook up to them. They also have their own.
Of course, no, we all do.
Oh, this guy is jealous of Nigerians.
I know. Look
Yeah, very jealous.
But at the same time, we could all learn from each other, because as a Zimbabwean, I'm also coming with my little bit of Zimbabweanness that I've been taught because of the hardship that I've gone through in Zimbabwe. And it's a different hardship that a Nigerian person has gone through. And it builds us all differently.
Yeah.
You guys, like from whatever level you look at it, like you're trying to build business, you're trying to make something of your own. If we take that, especially I think as people of color, we need to own stuff. We need to really think about starting businesses and creating things that actually bring us wealth. So I think that looking at it from that Nigerian perspective would actually help. So if we could partner with each other.
I think we are partnering already. Nigerians and Zimbabweans are together.
And Zimbabweans, yes, but I mean with South Africans, you know.
If it could work.
If that were the case.
Yeah, but I was trying to explain that earlier, that when you bring them on, they run away after 3 days. And this is not me trying to look down on anyone. I've had a situation where a South African book distributor was supposed to meet me by 10 a.m. on a Saturday. I don't know if I told you the story.
Okay.
And then That Saturday he didn't show up. 7 p.m. I messaged him and said, "Why did you stand me up?" No apologies, no reply till today. A book distributor. And since I moved to this country, it continues happening. South African will tell you, "I'll meet you by 10 a.m. He never shows up. Is this a culture or something that I need to know, because I need to learn? It gets me angry and worked up, and I want to attack the person, but then I say, hey, I'm in this country, I don't have any right to do that. Do you think this is a cultural thing? Because it's only people that can tell you 10 a.m. and they never show up.
But the thing is, right, we let's take this setting and put it in maybe Zimbabwe. If it were a Zimbabwean who stood you up, would you also question their culture, or what is it?
No, I have been to Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
No, Nigerians don't stand me up.
Yeah.
Is either the Nigerian comes late or text me to say, hey, I'm on my way, and then he won't meet up, or apologizes for standing you up if they do by mistake or they get sick. But here, no apologies, no I'm sorry, nothing like that. It never happens here to me. Over how many years now, they never say sorry for standing, never.
I don't know what conclusion we can come up to, but I don't know.
It doesn't happen to any of you. Please be honest.
I don't really do much with the South African people in terms of business and stuff.
Okay, maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Because they always stand me up.
Yeah, I don't
Always.
do much. Yeah.
Always.
I don't know. For me, I think it's like a rebellious move to authority based on.
You know, because I also mentioned that to my producer. I said,
Yeah.
hey, see, all the South Africans that we invited for my show will not show up, and that happened.
Really?
Yeah, I predicted it and it happened. That's the way. I said the Nigerians will all come, the Zimbabweans will all come, but the South Africans will not come. Is this cultural? Is this something?
If it is, it's not cool. It's not nice, because in the same breath, right? These same South Africans, they are quick to claim Africanism when something nice happens with the Africans, but they can't come through for the African when it benefits the other African. Yeah, it's not.
Because I was wondering how I've asked the distributor to bring books to me that I'm going to buy. I'm not going to beg you to give me books. And they say 10 a.m. and I'm waiting all through Saturday. And then you don't show up, you don't say, I'm sorry, okay, I died or I went to hospital or something. You have to give me a reason why you didn't come. And then no apologies. So I found a cultural shock, you know, and I haven't had that experience in the countries that I was teaching in Malawi. I've been to Zimbabwe. I didn't have those cultural shocks in these countries. But here it's been like that. When I can predict.
But when you ask these questions, like, do you ask for just knowing so that your audience also knows, or do you have a suggestion what you think could be done?
No, you can't force people to change. No, I don't think you can force people to change.
I just want to know you from.
No, but I think you guys are trying to be very careful with if you have had such experiences in South Africa.
I have to be careful. Did they not lock you up? Which country was that? Rwanda.
No, but it was the president that insulted. Not,
it's the same thing.
I don't think
it's the same thing.
I don't think any citizen.
We are, to some extent, public figures, no?
Right.
What we say, you know.
Okay, well, I don't believe that anything I say can put me in trouble.
It did in Rwanda.
Anyway, thank you. Thank you, Alan. Thank you so much. I'll continue the conversation. Here comes the end of Onyeka Nwelue show. Keep ready.